According to INEC announcements, it's actually the PDP that came second in this election. James, why does it appear that it's only the presidential candidate of the Labour Party is really visible, and he's the person that the government of the day really comes after in terms of their backlash? If it's not Bayonano responding, another person will respond. Maybe one or two of the ministers will want to respond to him. Why is Obi the target of all this, despite not, according to their records, is not the person that came second in the election? But then there are other people who are supposed to be opposition leaders. You have Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and we don't seem to hear a lot from him anymore.
Yeah, why would you hear from those who are dyed-in-the-wool politicians who are just like the people in power? You see, the problem with the Nigerian political
in Nigeria today, Peter Obi is not only the opposition leader. Atiku is there, Kwankwaso is there, and the presidential candidate of SDP is also there. But many Nigerians wonder, why is it that whenever Peter Obi speaks, everywhere sparks fire? Why is it that Peter Obi statement always trigger, always cause attention, always make the presidency to be uneasy? Why? Why is it that the APC and this current government always unleash, they don't waste time, they don't hesitate to unleash their venom against Peter Obi whenever he speaks? Many Nigerians have asked this question. Friends, in this video, you're going to discover all that. I came across this video yesterday. I said it is worth sharing. Please watch this video to the end. As you watch this video, do me a favor by first of all liking it, because you like the video, it will make Facebook and YouTube to recommend it to others. Please share this video in all your platforms, on your status, on your group, and on your page. All right, thank you. Let's watch it together now. God bless you.
According to INEC announcements, it's actually the PDP that came second in this election. James, why does it appear that it's only the presidential candidate of the Labour Party is really visible, and he's the person that the government of the day really comes after in terms of their backlash? If it's not Bayonano responding, another person will respond. Maybe one or two of the ministers will want to respond to him. Why is Obi the target of all this, despite not, according to their records, is not the person that came second in the election? But then there are other people who are supposed to be opposition leaders. You have Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and we don't seem to hear a lot from him anymore.
Yeah, why would you hear from those who are dyed-in-the-wool politicians who are just like the people in power? You see, the problem with the Nigerian political theater is that just move from one political family to the other. They know themselves. They are the same people. So some of them don't actually have the moral high ground to criticize those that are in power, because it's just a question of the music. It's like the game of musical chairs. Today you are here, the next day you are there. So when you have a situation where politicians are not driven by any fire of clearly spelled out ideology, then it's difficult to actually have a very strong opposition, because their voices are already compromised. You could be friends, but ideological enemies, and that's what makes for a healthy democratic culture. Unfortunately, Nigeria is a mishmash of sorts. People are they are just the same set of politicians moving either from APC to PDP today, and from PDP to APC the next day. So what you find out that it is not really a question of what they want to do for Nigeria, but what they want to get out of the system that Nigeria has provided to them. You can see that the truth of that election has risen on its own. it's not hidden anymore. They know, and that's why they are worried when P2B talks. Because they know that the entire arrangement that Mahmoud put out does not represent the will of the people expressed at the polls on the election day. So eventually, P2B has evolved as he did should, and now everybody is getting rattled. I've also noticed that Nigerian opposition politics is about just finding faults with the people in power. Now there should be a balance. If you are an opposition figure, you find even greater moral authority if you are able to see some good things about the government in power and say some positive things about what they are doing. Because opposition figures should be able to also appraise, government policies critically, look at what is going on, not just the executive, but the judiciary and the legislative, assembly as well. Provide illumination, hold their feet to fire, and provide enlightenment and a sort of spark of illumination for the rest of us. Unfortunately, the kind of leaders we have produced in the last 30 years or thereabouts in Nigeria are politicians who are just cutthroat politicians who do not even have time to prepare themselves adequately to read the right literature, to prepare, and study, the modern principles of leadership and how they can be accountable to the people. We have seen people who are driven merely by their own greed and their obsessions with material wealth. And when you have that kind of scenario, the opposition will automatically lose its voice because it will be struggling to even define its place in time. You understand what I'm saying? In time and space. The opposition has to be clear about what they want. If I'm an opposition figure, opposition figure in Enugu State, it doesn't stop me from looking at what Peter Mbai is doing right, and saying, well done. But then you made a promise that you will do this and do that, and you haven't done that. Opposition politics is the bedrock of democracy. You can't have a vibrant democracy without the voice of opposition, without opposition holding the government in power to account. That is the beauty of democracy. It doesn't matter whether one gets threatened in the process or not. We all know that some of these threats are just intended to size you up, to find out whether you're actually speaking with the courage of your conviction. Because they know that if anything should happen to P2B, Nigeria will probably not be the same, so to speak. So we know that that's just, empty rhetoric coming from Felix Moka and others. You don't threaten an opposition figure for simply playing the role he's expected to play.
Thank you. Great. Barrister Abu, how problematic is it for you of the Labour Party? How are you people perceiving the threat to P2B's life? That's what is alleged, that he's been threatened and the members of his family has been threatened because of his opposition stance.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you once again. Well, I think the Labour Party has made a statement, and we're not taking it lightly because we know where we're coming from and we know the type of nation we are. But let me say this. Opposition leaders throughout Africa have always complained of threat to their lives. It didn't start today, and not end today. Because even in America, you saw what happened during American presidential campaign, where Trump, the president-elect, was threatened twice, was almost killed twice, and then now the third one stopped it on the road. If you look at our history, I was in secondary school when Shagari was president of Nigeria, and that time it was hell was let loose in Nigeria against opposition parties. Jimo Obodo cried. I was in class 4 by 1983. Jimo Obodo cried. He took his position by force. At Court of Appeal here, I was there. I came in as one of the school referees to witness the Court of Appeal decision.
Continue.
When the thing was declared that he won Ondo, it was relational along. And Ondo sat and blocked the judges from coming down. They give the judgment. That made me to go and read law. I said I would read law because I saw them in their regalia that impressed me. And you saw what happened when Ojukwu came back from Ivory Coast. His coming back was to join MPN. And the Ojukwu Vanguard, the Vanguard or Ojukwu, this thing met. Really? At the point it was mother of all mothers. And we had it. And some of us in secondary school got hint of that. We were threatened because we were campaigning for MPP that time. So it's not a new thing that, in fact, this particular president, Tinubu, was shouting that he was to be killed when he was in Action Alliance before they formed the opposition. And also, it's something that is a continuum in African nation, in the whole world. If you go to Bahamas, if you go to Asia, if you go to every opposition leader is either being threatened or is being killed and so on and so forth. So that is why the Labour Party is taking it serious that if anything happens to this man, some of us in the state are doing our own with panache. You know, we're not trying to be aggressive as P2B.
But is P2B aggressive?
Aggressive in terms of that he is saying the truth, the fact and the truth. Not being aggressive in terms of force. P2B is saying what he has said is what is happening in Nigeria today. All of us are aware. Even the APC people are aware that things are not moving. But because of the way we behave, our character in terms of governance and so on, once you are being given that peanuts, you keep quiet, you complain at the backyard. So P2B has taken the bull by the horn, and is saying it the way it is, but they don't want to hear it. They don't want that way. They don't want it that way. So we are warning. We are warning seriously. The Labour Party people are warning seriously that if anything happens to P2B, in fact, the government of Tinubu should be held responsible. But we don't want anything to happen to him. So nobody should be held responsible. They should allow him to play because they took away his power. They took away his mandate. So they should not threaten him further. Let them go on and let this country have a kind of let me say what we had in and fresh air.
Many people are saying that the language used by the National Publicity Secretary of the APC sounded like a threat. He said that the Labour Party candidate Peter Obi had crossed the line so many times, and whatever he sees, he should manage. Now, Peter Obi came out earlier, last year, around the 31st, and said in an ex post that he was going to share a word of encouragement with Nigerians. He also went ahead to say that he would comment on the state of the nation. And of course, he went ahead to stay true to that commitment. He granted a press conference with some TV stations and really spoke about the state of Nigeria, his views on it. But following that, his message to Nigerians, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC came out during an interview and condemned it, and even went ahead to say that whatever he sees, he should manage it. And now he's saying, Peter Obi is saying that even before that comment and even around that same timeline, that he has been receiving threats from unidentified persons. Maybe he knows them, I don't know, but he has been receiving threats, both himself, his family, and even against his business because of what he said. Now it has made him to believe that this administration is turning Nigeria into an authoritarian nation, because it's impossible now for many people to say what they truly feel without being stampeded or stifled, so to speak. I don't know if you saw the New Year message of Peter Obi, or if you've been following up on the reactions that have followed it and what he has been saying about it. But what is your general reaction to that statement? Peter Obi being told that he has crossed the line too many times. What exactly constitutes crossing the line?
My take about this is that I saw on my television Moka, the publicity secretary of APC, saying all these unfortunate things.
And this is someone that bears the title I've seen somewhere, ESQ. So he could be, it's possible that he is a lawyer, right? He could be a lawyer because I saw something like that. So, I mean, is that not shocking? That
Yeah, you see,
come out and do that?
what I observed is that throughout the period, Buhari was president. Nobody from his ethnic group talked to him anyhow. Moka, from the same ethnic group, P2B, talked to him this way. Very, very unfortunate. He started by, it's just that I am on TV. I would have used a particular language for Moka, for saying that P2B did not achieve anything in Anambra State.
For 8 years.
For 8 years. Who else have achieved what P2B achieved within that period on the issue of education and health? Who else moved his state from 26 to number 1 in education? Which other governor left billions behind? How many governors came out without EFCC following them? But there is one thing that is certain. Obi himself, the type of education one gets influences his attitude to life. His first degree was on philosophy.
Yes.
If you read philosophy, if you study philosophy like I did, you will see how the Greek
Continue.
philosophers, Greek philosophers, how they took risks. And the way, we are now governed by what we call philosopher kings, no more monarchs. So I thank P2B that he has the guts. He loves this country more than himself. P2B loves this country more than himself. Otherwise, nobody will be taking the type of risk. In a country where somebody got up and said he's going to kill the wife of the president because the wife of the president is a Christian.
But bringing it back to present day, I mean, we are reacting to P2B's dilemma right now. P2B, Labour Party as a whole, is not the only party. He is not the only candidate that has been critical about the way things are panning out within the current administration. So why exactly was barrister Felix Morka so emotional during that TV program, during that interview? Because it appeared as if he was speaking from a place of a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, that P2B is always crossing the line. Could it imply that they feel most threatened by the Labour Party candidate?
Yes.
I don't know. A lot of people are looking for more ministerial appointments, not a publicity secretary of a party. Morka is looking for ministerial appointment where he will get more money. I don't think that, and if he's a lawyer, I will be very, very surprised, because what they call him on TV is Prince this.
Sir.
I don't think a lawyer will talk like that.
I want to take this line from P2B's message when he made his tweet of asking if he crossed the line, and he said, "We are increasingly transforming into an authoritarian and repressive regime where freedom of expression is being systematically suppressed." So this particular statement, he's saying we are increasingly transforming into an authoritarian and repressive regime where freedom of expression is being systematically suppressed. And we've seen, unfortunately, a couple of other people who have been arrested, a couple of journalists who have been arrested, a couple of people who do activism in any form who have been arrested in this past couple of months or since the beginning of this regime, you know. Do you agree with this statement by Peter Obi that we are slowly getting into a regime that is authoritative and people are not being able to speak up for themselves?
From the way the police they arrested Dele, what do you call it? Parrot. The way and manner they handle his case shows that what Peter Obi is saying is correct. Is it, are we going for a fight? It happened at a radio station here where your namesake was messed up.
Okay.
It is.
Continue.
I feel where people have. It has always been. It's not a new thing about how they deal with the press. I am happy that there's a Supreme Court judgment now against the way the Nigerian. There's a body that has always been interfering, dealing with radio stations and the press. So
Really?
Well, I'm happy also that what happened in the case of Dele, I'm happy about it. The way the press handled it, the way, and we're at a loss as to why this day one of the leading television stations have declared Tinubu Man of the Year. I don't know how Tinubu became Man of the Year when there is hunger in the land, when everything is in a mess. And they declared this day that I had regard for. Arise TV. I had regard for.
No, actually, I think Arise TV was actually doing its assessment because I did see on top of the.
No, they have come now to support it.
Well, what I did was
they delayed.
Sorry, let me just finish. I did see this day, and then the what we call the lower third, the headline on screen this day. So I think they were assessing this day's proclamation
of him being the man
of the year. But it can't be misinterpreted because if you did not read the sidebar, then
editors from this and now they have added.
But broadcast houses don't have editors. Broadcast houses, yes, they have editors, but it's an editorial, so to speak. That's newspaper. For broadcast, we do have editors, but in newspapers, editorials are written and they represent the stand of the papers. What I did see was this day, meaning that headline was taken from this day. Yeah. And if that is not what they intended, if they truly did crown President Tinubu as their man of the year, then they have to come out and say that. But what I did observe was this day, and then the headline that read, basically they were quoting the headline from the paper. That's what I saw. So I cannot, vouch for them saying that he was their man of the year. I do find it quite unlikely.
Well, I don't know, but what we see on television, initially, they disassociated themselves from what these days say. Ruben Abati disassociated themselves from what. But what we see now, they have been on daily. I'm happy there is one truth there. They mentioned Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala as a woman of the year. That one is 150% correct. But to come and be telling us that Tinubu is man of the year.
Well, no, what I did see, like I said, was that they were taking a quote from a headline. I did see this day.
Okay,
and then
I am not of the...
Yes, but if you had just looked at it at a glance...
You're a professional journalist, so you can guide us on what...
I mean, they would come out and say what they meant, but I'm saying what I saw.
And that's what I'm saying.
We have to provide
we
facts.
Lawyers, we leave experts to discuss the issue. You are a professional journalist.
And you are a professional as well, Barrister Zaputa.
No, this is not a legal matter.
No, you are a professional as well. So let's also now look at the comment as a whole, so we do not deviate.
Okay.
Now, Felix Morka said, whatever Peter Obi says, he should take it and manage it. Do you see that as a veiled threat? Because many people are saying online, the narrative now is, if anything happens to Peter Obi, that Felix Morka should be held responsible.
Should be arrested.
Because of that comment, because of what
In
he
fact,
said.
we should not
on
even
national
wait for
TV.
something to happen. He should be arrested right
But
now.
let's
And let me tell him by myself. I have military background. If I see that Morka by myself about Peter Obi, let me close my. If anything happens to Peter Obi, money and the chalk by AJ police. Let me speak it. You should be very, very careful.
Is that a veiled threat, Barrister Zapota? let's not start a vicious cycle of threats. But do you agree with social media users that the statement Felix Morka made was a veiled threat? Because what we're seeing here is allegation, threat allegation. Do you think that statement was a concrete threat disguised?
I didn't see what the social media said.
Social media is saying that that was a threat.
What he said on TV, I think it was Arise TV.
Yes.
Is enough for me. There was one guy that came and replied him. He was invited by Arise TV to reply about this. Former LP candidate from Anambra State. Former Labour Party candidate. The way he said it there, I agree with him in total about what he said. One, that is unfortunate, and that if anything happens, that he should be arrested. That's my own position. That alone, he should be arrested. And then if anything happens to Peter Obi, in fact, after campaigning for him, I wanted to plead with Peter Obi to come and make me his. I am prepared to be his Batman. I'm telling you. Well, I don't want anything to happen to that because I never knew that from Nigeria we will get a politician that says things the way he says it.
I mean, I hope Peter Obi is watching this. But yeah, I do understand where you're coming from. But the question I have, because I'm sure people has a lot of questions to ask, and I'll just let us, let's say, steam this up a little bit as people delivers her own question. Who exactly is going to arrest Felix Morka? People, go ahead.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm still a bit taken aback by the Batman comment. But because we still have a conversation around this, Mr. Fineface is going to react on this whole situation. So I want to, permit me to go to another headline that I saw before we round it up. And still on